Next guest, we bring on the Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert, driver of the 48 Chevy for Big Machine Racing, Nick Sanchez. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Before we get into the recent action, last two previous seasons you spent in the Truck Series, driving the two for Rev Racing. Last season you rack up wins in Daytona and Charlotte. How do you think the Truck Series prepared you to contend this year at the Xfinity level?
Yeah, I think it's just the act of racing competitively up front for wins, right? I think at any level you're at, that prepares you for at least the next step. And I moved to the Xfinity Series this year, and nothing changed other than the team I was driving for and obviously the style of car I was driving. But obviously my goal is still to chase wins and do all that stuff. And luckily I had a great 2 years in the truck series to help me learn how to do that.
Awesome. Sounds like you're prepared. Just as you mentioned, this is your first year with Big Machine Racing. Have talked about how strong you've been this season. How has it been working with everyone there and crew chief Patrick Donahue?
Yeah, it's been great working with the whole team. Scott Burchetta has built an amazing team, and Patrick's been a joy to work with as a crew chief. So it's been nice, getting to know each other personally and professionally, and I feel like we've excelled in both departments.
Awesome. Thank you for touching on that. You always seem to bring it at the super speedways in the truck series. You were second and fifth previously at Atlanta. You qualify 11th and were in the top 10 for stage one and two. Had some fierce competition there late. How were you able to stay in front of Love, Capole, Almirola at the end there at Atlanta? Those last few laps were nail biters.
Yeah, it's you obviously study in the week, you do a lot of film review, and you just need to execute when the money's on the line, and that's what we did. So fortunately enough for me, I have a great group of people behind me, and every scenario that we were faced with, I would say we were prepared for. So in the moment, you just want to execute and do the things you know how to do.
Gotcha. Got to do what you have to do. That was your first win at the Xfinity level in Atlanta earlier this year. What did that win mean to you and Big Machine Racing?
Yeah, it's expected, right? I joined this team expecting to win, and they signed me here, wanting to win. So it's definitely nice to get the first one out of the way. But for me, it just motivates us. It motivates me to get more wins, and yeah, just keep on working harder.
Gotcha. Seems like you're in a great spot there. Turning towards Sonoma, you were sixth fastest in practice. You qualified 23rd. Did you learn anything about the car and the track during those two practice sessions?
Yeah, obviously we just had a 50-minute practice session to figure out the race car, and for me, I'd never been to Sonoma, so I'm just trying to build my notebook and learn the track. Road racing's not easy, so 50 minutes is not really a lot, not really a good amount of time to learn a track, at least when you're competing against some world class guys. So, I think we made some progress with the race car. I made some progress as a driver, and we just put it behind us, put the qualifying effort behind us, and had a good showing Saturday.
Gotcha. Getting into the race there on Saturday, you short pit stage one, then work your way up to fourth before pitting towards the end of the second stage, flipping that stage like many others. Seems like your team made the right adjustments throughout the day. How were you able to work your way through the field for a fourth place finish there?
I knew I had a top five car. I knew I was capable of running third, fourth at least. So, with that being said, right, I just had to be patient throughout the first two stages and just work my way up cleanly, take care of my race car, and obviously our strategy was to go for the best possible finish and be in position to capitalize if the front two had issues or took each other out. So. Um, yeah, I thought the team did a great job on pit road executing strategy. Everything definitely came together, and we were able to have a solid finish.
Gotcha. It seems like you guys had a great strategy throughout the day. The last two races after Atlanta were the street course of Chicago and road course of Sonoma. We saw the packages of the road course that Big Machine brought with Kligerman the last couple of years. You finished fifth in Chicago and, as discussed, fourth last weekend. How do you think the road course packages that Big Machine is bringing to the track for you?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. We've pretty much changed it 180 from last year what Parker was driving. So, Coda and Mexico, I would say we had good speed, but we did struggle in some areas. So, going to Chicago and then even going to Sonoma, we just honed in on, the little key areas we needed to fix. And I would say we did that. And I think we have one little key element left to go. I would say until we're a lock for the top three. I feel like going to every road course we have left. So, it's just trying to identify the things you need to make better in the race car, and just accomplishing that. And if you do those things and get better each time you hit the racetrack on a road course, I think you're just going to excel more and more every time.
Cool. I really appreciate the honesty with that. With the long schedules in the Truck Series and even longer in Xfinity, you're going to many different tracks, and I know there's sims and iRacing, but as a driver, how do you adapt to a track you've never been to before or have limited experience at?
I feel like for me as a driver, it's not even really the racetrack, it's the race car. Once you have
Okay.
a good feel for the race car, you could go anywhere with it and have success with it. So I'm at a place where I know what my race car is going to do. I know the packages my team brings on, short track, mile and a half, super speedway, and now road courses. So I think it's not so much the racetrack, but the race car. So it's pretty plug and play. Any racetrack we go to, I feel like we're going to have success.
Gotcha. Thank you. Turning towards this upcoming weekend at the Monster Mile at Dover, track has a lot of character. Drivers tend to say they feel like they're really hauling the mail there. Any expectations and goals for Saturday?
No, I mean, for me, it's just another race, right?
Yep.
I have the expectation to run in the top five at the worst case scenario. And obviously, my goal and expectation for the team is to win. Uh, that's our goal. And I think we're plenty capable of doing that. So we just got to, focus on the things we could control and make the car better throughout the weekend. And I think we'll find ourselves in position.
Gotcha. Dover is concrete. Any concerns with tire wear compared to an asphalt track?
No, I mean, I think Goodyear has a good enough tire and good enough data year over year that, I don't really see any tire problems for the Xfinity side, so it should be all good.
Okay, cool. Thank you. You're locked into the playoffs with the win in Atlanta. How are you going to get the 48 into the Final Four in Phoenix?
I think just winning, honestly, winning would be the easiest thing to do. I feel like to guarantee my spot in the Final Four, but honestly, stage racing is a big part of everything. Once you get to the playoffs, and I feel like we're one of the strongest teams in stage racing right now as far as points earned at a traditional track where you can't flip stages. So I think we just keep on doing what we're doing, and I think we'll hopefully be in contention.
Gotcha. Sounds like you have a really good plan for the rest of this year. Hope to see you this weekend at Dover, and thanks so much for your time, Nick. Best of
Thank you.
luck, man.